just going to talk about one more negative thing, and then I'll get off of it, and I'll let John take over and ask some questions.
Okay.
Could you just tell us what happened at the Montell Jordan video shoot or at the golf thing with Nate Dogg? If you can just speak on that a little bit. How did that jump off?
All right, so basically, we was on a subsidiary of Def Jam, right? On Out
Correct.
West, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So Montell was on Def Jam. He was on Def Jam West. So I guess Russell and Leora, they wanted everybody to be in the video, like all the artists. That's why you seen Redman, Method Man, all those people. And then Warren G was on Def Jam, naturally, right? So I guess he invited Snoop and all of his buddies, So
yeah.
before this day, me and Snoop had already had an understanding. So it was like I wasn't even tripping off of that because I knew for one that them dudes wasn't gang members. Like they was repping that, but they wasn't really about it. You know what I mean? So when I learned that, I never used to really say nothing. Like if I ran into them, I wasn't running up on them talking crazy. I wasn't pulling out no guns on them or nothing, right?
Yeah.
So when I get there, I guess I probably was like one of the first people there, as far as from the West Coast or whatever. So I'm sitting on the balcony, I'm having a drink with my executives from my label. And then I see Snoop coming, in the distance, and he get up and he's like, "What's up?" I'm like, "What's happening?" We smiling, chop it up a little bit and keep walking. And then in the succession behind him, all the DPG dudes. It was, I think, Warren, Sean Dog, Corrupt, the Dub Shack, all these dudes, right? And then Nate Dogg was he was the last person. So when Nate Dogg came, he was like Dog Pound. I was like Nutty Block Crip. He was like Dog Pound. I was like Nutty Block Crip. And he kept walking, so I left it at that. So now my brother, he's paging me, saying that he's close. So now I'm trying to get ready for him to pull up. And then when I can see him in the distance, I go down to meet him. And by this time, everybody nice and drunk and high, So all those little golf carts, that they had there, everybody was just riding them, swerving. And Nate Dogg and Ricky Harris, rest in peace, from Long Beach, the comedian, actor dude.
Yeah. He just died about a year or two ago.
Yeah, he was a good friend of mine, man. Me and his brother is real close,
Okay.
But he act like he was gonna run, like he coming at me with the golf cart, and I just stood there, and then he swerved, and when he swerved, he ran over my foot. So I chased him, you know what I mean? I'm chasing behind the golf cart, he's flying, and he get a little distance ahead of me, and he jumped out and turned around. I'm like, "Hey man, what the fuck wrong with you?" He's like, "Get out my face, little nigga." And I just fired on him, damn. And then I just kicked the whole thing off,
Yeah.
That's
okay.
pretty much what happened, yeah.
So we clear that story up. Okay, and I'll ask you just one last tough question, then everything after that gonna be, I think, pretty good. And I want to ask Johnny Coop to send me a question since he keeps saying we asking questions that we already asked you. So give me a question that we don't know, Johnny. But anyway, this is the other question is, if you can speak on it, and if you don't want to speak on it, because I know, because I love your positive energy now. I love that. I like to see brothers, how we just grow from that. And, I love that. I commend you for that. But my question is, and I just got to ask this because, I'll be on there. I'm just trying to clear my name while I'm on here because, they got me all mixed up in this shit. Some white boys that, that just can't stand me. So anyway, my question is who do you believe shot Tupac that night if you don't believe that Baby Lane was involved in it? Or do you believe Keepy D's story and you just believe, I want to say the of the four, who was the shooter in the car?
Man, I really don't know, man. I can't.
Okay.
That question I can't even answer, man. Like, I know everybody want to know, and you know what I mean. It's just one of them things, man. Like, I guess it's gonna forever be a mystery. I don't really know.
Okay. What was the temperature in Compton now that you've been in the streets and been out there? Could you just kind of tell the temperature and the heat at the south side and the mob and all of that? Do you remember the heat, the tension, and the atmosphere that was going on in Compton after Tupac?
Yeah, definitely. It was all day, every day for the most part. You know what I mean? And even outside of Compton, it's like wherever them two groups ran into each other. I mean, it was hectic. It was hectic. Yeah, I remember it. It was real hot at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually,
A motherfucker
Easy E
came.
boys. They was just, I mean, me and Ricky Harris was riding around, you know, in a little go-kart thing, getting ready to shoot a scene. And they just walked up on me like, fuck the dog pound, you know what I mean? And my response was like, I mean, I'm not, it's about 100 people around there, and one of them went behind me. So I'm like, well, either I swing now, or else I just get swung on. So then it all jumped
no
off.
choice but to swing.
So
and
once
bing,
I swung,
bing,
then
bing.
it just got hectic, because then I was fighting 2 to 3 people, and then somebody hit me in the back of the head and all. I mean, it actually was some unnecessary bullshit. We was talking about some people earlier before about coming out, talking about us, and doing this and trying to do that so they can bring their name up. I don't know how much Easy E, rest in peace, I don't know how much he had to do with influencing them to talk about us. But they was down with him and we was down with Dre, so they was trying to do their diss thing. But it played out. Where their album go?
That shit played out quick.
They come out talk. The only single that anybody even know anything about them was when they had us in the video tied all up. That's all we heard from them. We heard about their album. I think they sold 8 copies.
4.
They bought 2 of them. And I mean, hey, I ain't mad at them, but I mean, it's gonna be the same thing. And I mean, and we not trying to be no hoodlums. We out here trying to make money, because I know that day I felt real bad about what it looked real silly. I was scared somebody got it on tape. They all told me y'all got it on tape.
Oh, we got your back.
But I mean, I was like, man, that's some real unnecessary shit for us to be out here doing this, and we supposed to be making money. But I mean, they seen it as a way to come up, and they ended up on the short end